Hey, and welcome to Fan Theory Queries, where we analyze fan theories from all over the internet, but mostly Reddit. I'm Spencer.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Blythe.
Blythe, we're excited to have you back again, filling in for Laura.
Yes.
All right. I have chosen a theory today about Kirby. Has anybody played the Kirby games?
No.
So I never played the Kirby specific games, but I mean I know who Kirby is,
Yeah.
and I'm familiar from Super Smash Brothers and stuff like that. But that's kind of the extent of my knowledge.
It's funny because I'm the same way, and I feel like a lot of people are. I feel like that, I don't have data to back this up. I'm sure I could find some. That it wasn't Kirby was not one of the most popular Nintendo properties, because when you're competing against Link and Mario and that kind of thing. Yeah. But, popular enough to have several games and obviously be a character in Smash Brothers. But anyway, this theory is about Kirby. And this is from Cardboard Boxer. This was posted 9 years ago. So this goes to show everybody that we're not always about what's new and hip. If it's fascinating,
are you saying Kirby isn't new and hip?
I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not saying that, but... All right, so this theory is titled, Kirby is an apex predator among horrors, and he wants everybody to know it.
Wow. That's bold.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so again, some of these details I'm not exactly 100% familiar with, but I think we can still make a good judgment on this.
Yeah.
Most Kirby games end with a cosmic horror as a final boss. It is assumed that Kirby is fighting them off in order to protect his homeland. However, that may not be the case. Is Kirby protecting the lives of the pop star's inhabitants? No way! Every game he eats hundreds, if not thousands, of innocent civilians. Many of these guys couldn't hurt Kirby if he wanted them to. Some even run and cower in fear as Kirby approaches. Is Kirby protecting Popstar's inhabitants from slavery? Nope. Kirby's homeland is already ruled by King DDD, a monarch who'd quickly starve his people if Kirby wasn't so incredibly overprotective of his own food. Meta Knight once tried to take over Dreamland with the intent of making the inhabitants more productive. Arguably, he'd make a much fairer king than Dreamland's current ruler. Kirby, who basks in his gluttony, wasn't having that for even 1 second. Is Kirby protecting the planet itself? Not at all. In Megaton Punch, Kirby was willing and able to tear the very fabric of his planet in two just for laughs. Heck, nearly every game starts with Kirby beating up a tree. Kirby isn't Popstar's Captain Planet. Then, what exactly is Kirby's motivation? The first major cosmic horror that Kirby fought was Nightmare. Kirby came to blows with Nightmare because King DDD, in an attempt to seal off Nightmare, broke an artifact that allowed the citizens of Popstar, including Kirby himself, to sleep. You know who else has plans to sleep until it's time to start his reign of terror? Cthulhu. Now imagine how grumpy Cthulhu would be if you had woken up a few thousand years early by one of his comrades. That's essentially what happened to Kirby. Kirby believes he was wronged by a fellow eldritch abomination and wants to avoid that happening again. In his mind, the best way to do this is to show that he's the top dog. Kirby is a Lovecraftian monster that wants to show the other Lovecraftian monsters who's boss, and he'll kill as many of other monsters as he can in order to prove it. The end.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. That was spectacular.
I love it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I'm in the same boat. I've never played any of the Kirby specific games. I really only know Kirby from when my brothers made me play Super Smash Brothers, and I usually did not choose Kirby to play. But after reading this, I'm choosing Kirby every time. Like,
well, let's do just a tiny bit of research here. Let's look for an official definition of Kirby from everyone's favorite source, Wikipedia.
oh, yes, the most trusted source on the internet.
Yes. Kirby is well known for his ability to inhale objects and creatures to gain their powers, as well as his ability to float by expanding his body. He uses these abilities to rescue various lands, including his home world of Planet Popstar, from evil forces and antagonists such as Dark Matter or Nightmare. So that's kind of what was mentioned. Here's the best thing, though. In virtually all his appearances, Kirby is depicted as cheerful, innocent, and food-loving. However, he becomes fearless, bold, and clever in the face of danger. So I just love the thought of like Cthulhu being cheerful, innocent, and food-loving.
Yep.
He just wanted some sleep, man.
Yeah. So what I want to do, the theory pretty much speaks for itself, and since we don't have the knowledge to really pick it apart, I just want to go ahead and jump into some comments if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, go for it.
Great.
This person is from Deleted, kind of have the same thought as you, Blythe. I'm going to use the Kirby is an Apex Predator thing whenever I play Smash Bros. I love your theory, by the way.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. This is from Almighty Sapling. I absolutely love the idea that pink fluff ball that waves ecstatically while sing-songing "Hi" is an eldritch horror. Considering his ability to consume anything and absorb its essence at will, it makes perfect sense.
Honestly, that makes Kirby more terrifying.
Absolutely.
That's kind of like the whole It vibe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, okay, so
or
then
cute small children being evil, like all of that. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Then we have Cap'n Core says, "This is one of the best theories I have read. Normally I find some fault with it even if I like it, but this is pretty spot on." So there's
there you have it. We all know Captain Core is like the end-all be-all opinion on Reddit. So if this theory gets his or her stamp of approval, then I mean it's got to be true.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Another one. This is from Wolf Among You. Wow, that actually makes an incredible amount of sense. I always thought that Nintendo's titles were based on Japanese folklore, and I had a feeling that many Japanese quote-unquote gods were actually eldritch abominations.
That's an interesting perspective.
Mm-hmm. All right, one more. There's a comment says, this is from a name we shouldn't say because it's not family friendly. Basically, the clean version of their name is "Who messed up a lot." Okay.
Yes.
They say, Kirby runs on antimatter. The only way he can supply this power is by eating large amounts of mass and condensing it into the smallest possible space, the black hole inside him. He's pink because as light bends around him, it turns red from refraction, giving him a pink hue. He rides around on a flat star because that's the power of light pulled in by his massive gravity, and he can use the spinning centrifugal force to move at the speed of light, or near it depending on which laws of relativity he's breaking. I believe that he became sentient after a galaxy of advanced and extremely intelligent people were able to integrate all of the stars in that galaxy into a single superbrain, but for some reason or another this galaxy imploded on itself, forming an extremely condensed and intelligent black hole. He can move like bubblegum because he can bend space and time. He can transmute people's power because he steals their souls.
My science teacher heart is very happy with this entire comment here.
That's pretty dark.
Wow.
It is, and it got downvoted like quite a bit. So nobody likes it. Here comes someone to kill all the fun. Now that in itself is a fan theory. They need to make up their own of what what Kirby actually is. Mm-hmm. But really, I mean, if he's bending space and time, and he can transmute people's power because he steals their soul, isn't that still kind of like a evil eldritch monster kind of thing?
I was going to say that for me that kind of confirms the theory.
Yeah,
that he's an eldritch horror, because that sounds like the stuff that eldritch horrors do. Yeah,
and I guess this person didn't technically say, no, you're wrong, this is the right thing. So maybe they're just kind of like taking it in a different direction and trying to add on to it, but it sounds like they're
taking a more scientific approach to the theory.
Which nobody asked for that.
I did.
Blythe asked for
I always ask for it.
That's true, you do. Okay. All right. Well, this has been a fun discussion. Do y'all think? I mean, do you want to talk any more about it, or do you think that you've heard enough to formulate?
Well, I just still can't get past in the original post saying that in every game he eats hundreds, if not thousands, of innocent civilians. What is this game? What in the world? Very interesting.
He debuted in Kirby's Dream Land in '92. Was his first game. But I'm really interested to play his games though, just to get into the lore and see exactly.
Just to hear the name King DDD all the time.
Yes. Well, here's a fun thing. There's another little entry on Wikipedia about his species. It says in Kirby's Star Allies 2018, it's suggested repeatedly through pause screen descriptions and visual references that Kirby is a positive reincarnation of a powerful entity known as Void, the true main antagonist of Kirby Star Allies and the overarching antagonist of the Kirby series, which still sounds like a pretty evil eldritch being. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It also sounds like Kirby is essentially the good half or the good parts of an eldritch horror fighting itself.
Yeah.
The way they describe that.
Interesting.
That's fun. All right, well, since we don't really have anything else to add to this discussion, let's go ahead and head to the ad break. But before we do, quick reminder, hey guys, we want to hire an editor to edit this podcast to free us up to do other fun things for the show. One way you can help us reach that goal is by becoming a patron at patreon.com/fantheorycues. There's also a link to it in the description of this episode. Head there, become a patron. You get access to our exclusive Discord server where we can have fun, talk about things that may or may not matter. Like, I don't know, what's something funny that we talked about recently? Oh, I make fun of Michael all the time. That's one thing.
He does. He just slowly chips away at my confidence and self-esteem on a daily basis.
It never gets old.
That's my job, Spencer.
Well, you need to get on it because I've been slacking lately, so you need to fill in whenever I can't.
I do. I have joined it, and I've posted some, but I need to be on there more for sure.
I think the best opportunity for that is whenever he posts something that he's really excited about, and then just to come in and like trash it. You know, this is fun.
Oh boy.
Isn't it fun?
Hey,
Michael?
this is what I want. This is what I want on the Discord, though. I want someone who has actually played Kirby games to comment what their thoughts are on this theory. We need someone with the actual background knowledge, for sure.
Bringing it back to relevancy. Yes. Thank you, Blythe. That's great.
You're so welcome.
You can join us and talk about theories and why you think they might be true or why they are not. If you agree with us or don't agree with us. So yeah, again, patreon.com/fantheorycues. Pledge $3 a month. Have fun in Discord, but also help us get to our goal of hiring an editor. And speaking of wanting to get more money, let's go to an ad break that will probably earn us about 2 cents. And I was wrong. Looks like we actually earned 3 cents. So,
yes, we can finally buy the new equipment, sound gear, and stuff like that.
Yep, I've got a
that's not my payment
zip tie
for being on this episode.
No, you don't get anything. I
did for free.
I was able to buy a single zip tie to tie our cables together so they're out of the way.
That's perfect.
All right. Speaking of perfect, Michael, you do such a great job of explaining our rating scale to everybody every single episode. Like it's so consistent. I've never heard anyone be so consistent episode after episode in something that they do. So I know that you are born to do this. Yeah. So you mind doing it? No pressure, but can you give us the rating scale, please?
Absolutely. The highest rating that we have is Genius. This is reserved for only the best theories, which we believe are better than the actual canon. The next step down is Plausible. It's a good theory, it's believable. Unlikely is next. It's not a terrible theory, but pretty unlikely, as the name suggests. And then the last thing is preposterous. These are the theories that are just stupid. Basically, we're all dumber for having listened to them.
Well done. I mean, it sounded exactly the same as the last episode. I don't know how you do it.
Never thought my brother was good at anything until now.
Thanks. I've got this skill that I don't tell a lot of people about, where I can repeat a phrase or some phrases over and over again and sound exactly the same every time. It's like I can do a recording with my voice. It's crazy.
So here's what I'm going to do. Let's hear you say that exact same thing the exact same way one more time. Okay, ready? Go.
I've got this skill that I don't tell a lot of people about, where I can repeat a phrase or some phrases over and over again and sound exactly the same every time. It's like I can do a recording with my voice. It's crazy.
Wow, that was amazing. Hey, wait a minute. Okay. I think two times is pretty easy to do, but can you do it for a third time? To be exactly the same.
Let me give me a second. I got to take a drink of water quickly. Okay. And I've got this skill that I don't tell a lot of people about, where I can repeat a phrase or some phrases over and over again and sound exactly the same every time. It's like I can do a recording with my voice. It's crazy.
It's perfect. I don't know how you do it. But anyway, who wants to rate this theory first?
I'll go first.
All right,
I don't have anything to lose. Okay. Yeah. I am going to say that this is genius. As someone who, like I said before, disclaimer, never played any of the Kirby games. I really knew nothing about Kirby. I have learned a lot about Kirby just from reading this theory and the comments that went with it. But I will forever be a Kirby stan. I will choose Kirby every time in Super Smash Brothers. I love this idea. I feel like it makes Kirby a character that I originally thought was just kind of lame, maybe, or too I don't know, too cutesy. I think that makes Kirby kind of awesome. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. Love it.
Okay.
Michael, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm just going to continue riding that train I've been on for the past few episodes and give this a genius. I think this is a genius as well for pretty much all the same reasons Blythe just mentioned. I was aware of Kirby before. I never played as his character on Smash Brothers because I thought he was kind of lame and just didn't like anything about him really. He kind of annoyed me. But now he's now he's far less annoying just thinking of him in this way. And
I mean, he could suck you up and steal your ability to speak the exact same thing in the exact same way over and over again.
We don't want anybody else to have that power. That's only for me. I mean, as far as games go, I'm probably still not going to play as Kirby in Smash Brothers because I still think he's annoying. Even thinking about it this way, he's just slightly less annoying. And yeah, I think this is a genius theory.
Awesome. I love it. I'm also going to say genius as well.
Nice.
The Lovecraftian fan, or the Lovecraft fan in me, is kind of pushing back against that. Simply because I've read many H.P. Lovecraft books. I love that horror element that he creates, and the insanity, things so scary and crazy that you can't even describe, and it makes you go insane just by looking at it. That doesn't exactly describe Kirby. And if you were to do a lineup of all the Lovecraftian monsters, there would be one, and you included Kirby, he would obviously not belong.
Yeah.
But it's still fun to think about, and I love especially his motivation that he's wants to be king of the monsters and show the other monsters who's boss, and he'll kill them all so he can prove it. I would love to see Kirby versus Cthulhu, or Kirby versus Azathoth or something, where he sucks them up and spits them out or stumps. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, genius. Yes. I'm going with genius.
Awesome.
Love it.
Great. That was a very fun discussion. And speaking of fun discussions, let's discuss. Have you guys ever seen the movie Blazing Saddles?
I have.
I have not.
You have not. Okay, well, this doesn't matter. I mean, that doesn't matter. You're aware of this movie, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's a fun movie. It's funny, but there is some, it's kind of dated. There's some things about it that wouldn't quite age well. In fact, user 4Crusties on Reddit pointed out that you would never be able to make Blazing Saddles today because you'd need like way more time than that.
Listeners, this is exactly why we need an editor, so that we can have somebody to edit out these these facts.
These are lovely. Hey, this was one of the top rated crummy movie details on Reddit. So everybody else thought it was fun. Anyway,
well, on that note, this has been Fan Theory Queries. I'm Michael.
I'm Blythe.
And I'm Spencer. In our next episode, we ask, did Barty Crouch use, how do you say it? Felices?
Felix Felicis.
Did Barty Crouch use Felix Felicis in order to impersonate Moody? Did I say that right?
Close enough.
Use Felix Felicis? Felicis?
Yes.
Felix Felicis in order to impersonate Moody? Subscribe to Fan Theory Queries so you don't miss out on that and other fascinating fan theories.
Well, on that note, this has been Fan Theory Queries. I'm Michael. Well, on that note, this has been Fan Theory Queries. I'm Michael. Well, on that note, this has been Fan Theory Queries. I'm Michael.